Hi, friend.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay. Trying to see if I can get this. I don't know, maybe. What are you up to?
Same old, same old.
Are
You
you
know.
gonna ink these sketches?
Yep, yep, yep,
Sweet.
yep.
Looks like it should be a blast. See that you're doing those bad boys. I saw you sketch those out a while ago.
Just a couple days ago, but I specifically held on to I was gonna ink them, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna need something to ink on Thursday if me and Jess can get together, and so I held on to it just in case.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good call.
that's what I thought.
How's your Thursday been?
Yeah, another day. Work was
Yeah.
pretty slow, which is fine. I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah. Are you working Black Friday?
Um, yeah, I mean, the stores. If it's a weekday and the store's open, I'm there. You know,
Yeah.
like that's just a given. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
hi Raz, what's up? Nancy Garcia, hello. Winter Linda both.
Moose. All
Forgive me
right.
for butchering some people's names. It is not intentional.
I'm homeschooled. That's my reasoning.
You always fall back on that.
Yeah. That's what I just say. It makes sense to me.
You're like, don't blame me.
Yeah.
I was taught that Alaska was an island.
Exactly. What am I supposed to do?
That's so, that's a good one.
Which is the situation for me.
I'm farting around with my inking nibs here, trying to get these things ready to go, but I'm struggling
I'm sorry.
on the struggle bus.
It happens sometimes.
Into the best of us.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
God damn. So, kids,
They're pretty good. They're just pretty much just same as usual. Nothing too crazy been going on.
yeah.
Getting kind of excited over the holidays. My been working on trying to get their ideas for their gifts and stuff for Christmas together already because I get started now. I might not get screwed over on pricing as much.
Good point. Fair point.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where we're at. How about you? How about how are your boys?
They are just fine. Um, fun.
Yeah.
They better be fine. But yeah, they're just being good little boys, and I'm happy for it.
Good. Get them. So, do you have them for Thanksgiving?
I actually don't know what the scheduling is like. I haven't even like asked her. You know
Oh,
what I mean? I'm like I'm not doing anything, so it's not like the schedule will just follow. Like I don't. It doesn't really matter if I have them for Thanksgiving or not because I'm not doing anything. So the schedule is the schedule, and
yeah. I see what you're saying. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I do get them this weekend. I'm excited to see them.
Yeah. What are you guys gonna do this weekend?
Probably nothing for like extraordinary.
Come on, nothing extraordinary.
Just play video games and shit, and then
Fair enough.
it's like a good movie to go see. I might do that, but see Venom last time. I told you about that.
Yeah.
Was They enjoyed that.
Yeah. Sound like they did.
I don't know if there's anything else in the theater that they want to see though.
Never know.
No, I do know because they will tell me, especially my oldest boy. He's gotten to the point where he's like, Daddy, this movie looks really cool. You should take us to see it.
That's
Oh, reached the point he wants me to take him to movies. But he needs to also learn I'm not taking him to any damn stupid thing to see because I can't be sitting there just dying inside at this god awful stupid thing they want to see. So I have to kind of be okay with it because, two, it's also super expensive.
yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Got to be worth it.
That's fair. You're not wrong there.
Yeah, I miss the days when, like, there was a movie theater at Valley Fair Mall, everyone would go because it was like dollar movies, just the price of a ticket was like $1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's. I always go. We've got like a place by us. They do $5 Tuesdays,
Right.
and so I've started doing that because I can't with the cost of concessions too.
Yeah,
It's so much. I just can't.
like $15 for a bucket of popcorn.
Yeah, it's craziness.
Gotta be kidding me.
It's
But
craziness.
yeah, when there's a good movie out, I'm fine taking them and splurging. I'm like, all right, like my oldest boy doesn't usually ever get soda pops of any kind, but get his big root beer and he just loves it.
That's awesome.
Even popcorns and shit. It's all right. It's okay to splurge once in a while.
That's cute, and that makes sense. You know, I
Yeah, try to make it special.
yeah. When I was a kid, I used to think, oh, one day I will. I wanted to own a movie theater.
Oh wow.
That was like my big goal.
Never heard you mention this before.
Yeah, I really did. Where I grew up, we had one movie theater and it covered like 4 towns. And I really, really, really wanted to. When I grew up, I just thought it was the neatest thing when it finally, because for a long time there was like one tiny, tiny one, and it only had one theater, and so you only one movie at a time would play. And I never really got to. We never went and saw much. And I remember just thinking, wow, it'd be so cool if we had a big one. And then a big one came in when I was probably like 13. And I just was so happy. I thought it was the neatest thing. And I remember thinking, I want so badly to own a movie theater one day.
Yeah,
And then when I got a little older, I tried to get on and to work there. No go.
like they wouldn't hire you, or you didn't.
Yeah. I just everybody wanted to work there. I guess all the teenagers wanted to work there, and I never got the
Oh,
opportunity.
like crush your dreams.
I used to tell my cousin David because when he was 17, he worked at the movie theater, and I used to tell him like that is seriously like if there's anything that I'm jealous of, like you can play guitar, you can do all these cool things. My biggest thing I'm jealous of with when it comes to you is that you got to work at a movie theater when you were a teenager. Because I really wanted that. That was just my ultimate goal. He's like, actually, it was really stupid. He's like, they made us wear these dumb uniforms and like
Believe
still
me.
sounded awesome.
Yeah, he's like, it's not what you think.
Yeah, I still think it sounded awesome.
Do you want to be the person like ringing up popcorn or running the movie projector? Or
Honestly, I didn't care.
like, I just want to work there.
Yeah, any of it. Any of it sounded awesome to me.
Hello, Inkwell. What's up? And Lilith Cove. Hello.
Hello. Thank you. I'm just going to take the compliment. I don't know if they mean me or not, or both of us, or just you, but I'm just going to pretend like they mean both of us.
Just
So I've been running out of paint
oh,
for a
there's an
hot
art
minute.
store near you.
Huh?
If only there was an art store near you.
I know, right? Okay, hold on. Hear me out. So I've been running out of paint, and I keep telling myself, you're going to go buy some more paint. Like, you do not have the colors you need. But I'm trying to use some of these almost empty bottles. And then once I do, I'm like, then you can go get some more paint. In my mind, I'll be justified.
That's fair.
So I've been working on old paintings I either never finished, didn't like, just trying to fix them or do something with them.
You take almost empty bottles and put just a tiny bit of water in them to water it down to get like a lighter version of the paint, just to use every last bit of pigment in the bottle.
Oh man, I do not do that, but
Not what
yeah,
painters do, Rob. I'm sure that's what you're saying.
that would be sacrilegious. I'm just kidding. Oh,
With my ink bottles, when the ink gets really low, I'll put a little water in the bottom of it and swish it around so it becomes
oh yeah.
absorb up all the remnants of it, and then I'll just slop some crappy ink wash around just to use it up.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I have a hard time letting art supplies go until they're 100% dead. Like I'll have drawing pens that are still throwing down somewhat of a line, even though it's a shitty, faded, hard to get line to come out of it. There's still a little ink in there. So I'm like, nope, not throwing it away. Still some life in her left yet, but
Hey, I get that.
like it's like, dude, just fucking let it go. Open up a new pen. Fine. Just let it go. Just frustrating yourself by getting shitty lines and making your artwork look.
It's like, but I don't want to waste.
Yeah, that's it. It's like it's self-destructive.
No, I get it. 100%. 100%.
How's your husband doing? Martha?
What?
How's your husband doing?
He's okay.
Good.
Hmm?
All good.
Yeah, he's just living the dream, working.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of a rough day at work today. He's like, I cannot wait for the weekend. I'm like, fair enough.
get my last vacation in of the year, the first week of December.
When?
First week of December.
Nice.
I get 4 weeks at my job, so this will be my third time taken off, and then they let me cash out some of my vacation time, a week of it, because of my furnace situation. So like a
Oh, yeah.
hardship, so they let me cash some of it out since they don't just let us do it anymore because somebody's a higher up at the company's a dickhead. So
Damn. I didn't
yeah,
know that was a thing. I just assumed they did still
yeah.
let you.
Well, they used to. They used to let you cash it out.
Yeah.
Now they're being jackasses.
Well, fair enough, I guess.
It's not the people in the store. It's like the corporate.
Right, right.
Look at my guy here. I gave him the. I was inspired. I was inspired by his beard by Static X. I assume you know the band.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
know,
wow. That's pretty cool looking.
I actually kind of thought it looked kind of neat. It looked like his little stupid, weird three ponytail things and his like Abraham Lincoln beard and the long beard ponytail braided thing. I don't know.
No, I like it. Good
Doc
work.
War God is asking, is that a Mississippi accent I detect? They can't be talking about me.
Me, I am not from Mississippi.
But you're from closer than I've ever been.
Huh?
But you're from closer to that direction than the.
Yeah, I'm from Southern Indiana. So I live in Utah though. Have for a while, but yeah, I'm actually from Southern Indiana, which is kind of a weird place for accents because I feel like sometimes you sound Southern, sometimes you have a weird. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound quite right, but yeah, I've gotten that before. Some people ask me, "Wait, are you from the South? Are you from?" Which where I'm from is pretty close to Kentucky. I mean, it's like an hour to Kentucky, so it's all real close.
Yeah.
But yes, Inkwell's asking, can you ask for all 4 weeks of vacation all of at the same time?
I suppose I could ask, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to give it to me. Take a whole month off work.
Yeah.
Dr. War God, who asked about the Mississippi accent, says, yes, you, Robert. No, that was just
Oh,
me sounding dumb or something like that.
you do have a little bit of the static coming through.
Oh, is it staticky? That's weird.
It's not too bad. I don't feel like it's too bad, but it was worse in the beginning.
Don't get it.
I don't know either. It has to have something to do with this particular format on YouTube, I guess.
I guess so.
I don't know. Maybe no one else is hearing it though. We'll see. Trying to get all this gold put on here. Or I can do the detail. Kind of have to have the whole background done. Hmm.
No, I didn't say anything. Real traditional art. What's up? Someone saying he's waving twice. He's like, for the second time, he's like, hey, guys, I'm here.
Oh, hey, Gayton. Sorry.
He's not sorry.
I'm blind. Clearly. That's why this art looks the way it does.
Oh, wow. You know what? Something amazing happened. I think it was last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mark Domowitz hit me up because I've been doing my live streams, and he's like, he says, "Hey, when you doing your live tonight?" He's like, "I think I could join." You know, he like offered to join my live stream, and I was like, "I actually have plans. I'm going out to do some other stuff, so I'm not doing one tonight." I'm like, of all the time, we're here.
Oh, come on, Rob. That would have been awesome.
That's what I said. Well, I said, dude, we will definitely do that.
Don't believe him. It's a trap. I'm just kidding.
Bootstrapping who
You were trapping Mark.
into what?
I'm saying don't believe him. It's a trap. Like, he's saying it, but, he's not. You're not going to make it happen. The joke's, I'm sorry. It wasn't the best joke. It wasn't great.
Joke I've ever heard of.
I've never said that I should be a stand-up comedian. Oh my gosh, did you hear that?
I heard something.
That's directly above me. That would be directly above me. Hold on, let me think where my stairs are. In my dining room.
Somebody dropping shit up there.
Oh, somebody fell, something happened.
Well, there's no kids screaming, so
Yeah. Unless they're unconscious.
Dang, yes.
Hmm.
Dang, girl. Somebody's up there unconscious, and
Maybe. She farted and flamed the guys upstairs. Yep.
like busted ass. Oh, something fell
I
upstairs.
I 100%. If I farted and it made it on the audio, I would 100% own that.
You're like, oh my god! Tell me you guys got that.
Did you can hear that right now? Holy shit.
You're like, I'll be right back. I gotta just go check. Just keep going. Stuff and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to decide on this drawing that I'm doing here. This guy, I think I've told it, I can't remember, but it's for that parody comic and blah blah blah. And the whole character was introduced in that comic
Mm-hmm.
in my unofficial follow up on, and he was wearing
Mm-hmm.
nothing, and his big old hairy wolf dick thing was just flopping around in shadow. So I'm like, well, my version of the guy is just going to be running around naked the entire time.
Okay.
So I'm like, my intention was to draw all his anatomy on this thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that on the left. Like, part of me 100% wants to. Part of me is like, maybe I'll.
I cannot make that decision for you. You
Yes,
must make the decision for yourself.
that's why I'm asking you. I need just an elected official. I can't make decisions for myself.
Oh my gosh, I love that line.
I'm glad you know what that was.
Of course, I would know that. That's one of my favorite lines. Oh my gosh, I love Night Before Christmas. I'm literally wearing Sally socks.
Sally Socks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the name of a character that would be in a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, it does.
Tyraz. It's like a hairy Dr. Manhattan. I mean, kind of.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes, I see what you're saying. I guess go for it. I mean, it's not like are you planning on having this monetized?
I mean,
Or could
no,
they demonetize you completely?
these live streams are never monetized anyway.
All right, well, there you go.
I can put it on monetization after the fact, but no one re-watches these in a scale that would make any difference. Like maybe some long timers who would like to hear the conversations will do it, but
Fair enough. Fair enough.
get somebody report it. No, chill again.
Like, go ahead, do it, and then someone reports it. It's just someone saying, "Go ahead, Rob,"
Just do it.
just to be funny, just to really get you. Thank you, Dr. War God. I appreciate that. I'm trying to fix a painting that I started a long time ago and I hated it. When I was obsessed with a few years back, I got really obsessed with Egyptian stuff. I was watching the Egyptian documentaries and docuseries by the assload, and I started this and never finished it because I didn't really love it. I'm gonna try to fix it.
I do ass load. I like how you put that.
It was like that.
Just really got into like Anubis and shit. It was really interesting stuff.
hmm it's like, to me, it's so fascinating. And I know it's that they weren't the only, um, ancient culture, but because they documented everything so well, we know so much. And we still don't know very much at the same time. But we know so much that it really just kind of boggles my mind.
Oh, the
Um,
ancient Egyptian culture is highly fascinating. Yeah,
mhm.
no, you're not wrong at all.
I'm really a fan.
I mean, just how they made those pyramids, like how the hell did this off? Like, ancient technology times, like just fascinating to think of.
Was aliens.
Yeah, I hope so. God, I hope so.
Let's see how many people get annoyed, angry that I say that.
It's just War God is asking if it's oil or acrylic.
It is acrylic because I have no patience for oil. I used to do a lot of oil in my teen years when I had more time and no children. And I feel like I could just sit, let it dry, come back to it, leave it out. No one would touch it. Um, might need to get back to it. It's also more expensive to do oil.
Yeah,
So,
not cheap.
long story short,
You're using cheap material.
um, this is gonna sound crazy, Tyrus. I actually have seen the Mummy movie, the first one, once all the way through, I think, maybe twice. And then I've maybe seen one of the others once a long time ago. I never have seen them.
The first one's the only one really worth a piss.
Yeah,
Part
and I
two is
liked it. I
kind
liked
of
it.
okay, and three is dumb.
I know there was and when I say new, I still think it was years ago, one that came out that I was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna go see that, and then I never did because I heard it was terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Acrylic is safer. You don't have to use thinners or anything like that with them. Um, so that's why that's oh, my vacuum is running.
you're like, wait a minute, and I'm not touching it.
Yeah. Is my
Yeah.
husband cleaning?
Must have
I-
broke something in the kitchen, so he's gonna clean the bow when you go up there. Like, honey, you know that you loved so much? Sorry.
I can hear. Fake Egyptian fan, never seen the Mummy movies. Yep. You know, I'm a faker. Fake Egyptian fan. You got me.
You know, true Egyptian fans, because they watched The Mummy.
Apparently.
I heard them chitter chattering back and forth now that Brendan Fraser's kind of made a resurgence. They're like, we should do another one.
Oh, for real?
I mean, he's going to be a fat old man, so someone else would have to do the um the action adventure stuff. But I actually like movies where they have like this person used to be the youthful adventurous guy, and now he's an old guy, and how does he, what does his life look like now upon reflection and stuff like that. I think that's an interesting idea. But
Yeah. I'm the same way. I think it's, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
yeah, it's just all about how much they construct
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Whereas is like, yeah, the third one was stupid, but the second one had the Scorpion King, which
I have that movie. I have the Scorpion King movie. It belonged. My husband got it for Christmas one year, and I've never watched it, but maybe now I will.
it has some moments that are kind of okay. Like it's not a brain wreck by any means, but the first one just had this. I remember watching that first Mummy movie and honestly going like, this is like the best spiritual successor to the Indiana Jones kind of vibe. Set in a similar time, had a charming, charismatic lead actor. There had
Hmm.
She was discovering stuff. It's not the same, but I was like, it kind of feels like that, and it's fun, and I'll watch this movie a couple of times, and then part two lost a lot of that. It was still fun, but
Yeah, interesting. I'll have to. Yeah, again, when I was in my when I say my mummy phase, it really was documentary type stuff, like discoveries and. So I guess I should have clarified that, but I might have to sit down and, especially if I'm working on this painting and watch the others.
yeah, everyone, and I think everyone knows like it's more just a gag. Like you like the Egyptian stuff, you have to like the Mummy movies.
Yeah.
What about Stargate? That had a lot of Egyptian lore, like turned into weird other.
Okay, Stargate,
Yeah,
another
the
show.
original movie, not necessarily the TV show.
Okay, the TV show never watched it really. My parents, when I was a kid, it was popular, and I remember my dad liked it. But yeah, that's another one I haven't really watched.
I'm not interested in the TV show. I like that first movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
You haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
Uh,
I'm sorry, my another disappointment. Another disappointment. Don't watch the Tom Cruise one. That's the Mummy. That that Mummy was so ridiculous and was such a waste of time. That's the one I remember coming out, and we were gonna go see it, and then I heard it got such bad reviews, and I thought, well, never mind.
yeah, that's a separate like iteration than the Brendan Fraser ones, but yeah, I was kind of interested. I mean, being honest, it's kind of rare for Tom Cruise to have a movie that absolutely just eats shit, you know. And even if it doesn't financially do well, it's usually like at least
Entertaining.
because as weird as he puts everything into him. Like he goes for it.
Mhm.
But I can't speak on the Tom Cruise Mummy movie because I never watched it. But all I ever heard was that it was like, ugh, don't bother.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. It's just not good. Um, but I mean, to each their own. Sometimes I like things that nobody else likes, so I can be a real weirdo like that. Like if a critic says they don't like it, that doesn't dissuade me at all. But if people that I, you know, Like when you told me about Beetlejuice, I thought, oh great.
Yeah, I believe, and I wanted it to be good. I was really rooting for it, but I'm just like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but I will probably never watch it again.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. I think I even said that to you. Like it was entertaining enough, and it was fun going with my kid, but I was just sitting there. I'm like, why are these characters written the way that they're written? What is happening? I was not a fan. My kid liked it though. He likes Jenna Ortega though, so
I mean, who doesn't?
I don't know. Who doesn't, Rob?
Oh, so we'll find out in the comments. Well, she's legitimately charming and interesting and has a good presence about her. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
feel like, I didn't care for the Wednesday show. I've talked about that. I'm like, I watched it kind of because the roommate wanted to. And I'm like, all right, we'll watch it. And I was curious to see if it'd be interesting. And I'm like, if she wasn't in this would be the dumbest show I've ever seen in my life. But because she has charm and presence, I was like, she kind of made it work. But I don't think I'll never rewatch it again.
Interesting. I okay, this is my opinion on that. That I don't think that movie was or that show was really made for our particular age group. And I think that's why I watched it too. Again, my kids they like it. But I noticed the people that seemed to really like it were of that high school, middle school age group.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's kind of who Wednesday was kind of written for. But again, you're right. Like she did a really awesome job for sure. At it.
Dr. Wargod says she seems like a genuinely good person that is also guarded. Yeah, I think she kind of keeps her stuff to herself. But what I was gonna say is that I I hear people talk about it wasn't made for our age group, but I'm like, when I was growing up, my favorite movies was shit made for adults, like
Yeah.
RoboCop and Aliens and Predator and shit like that. I was not interested as, well, I mean, to some degree I was like in kids stuff. you know, I grew up loving Transformers and Thundercats and all those cartoons and stuff, but I was fascinated by stuff that the adults like. So I'm like,
Mhm.
there's a balance you could strike where it's well written. It doesn't like if they make it for kids, I think it's limiting. And I don't think they were making it for kids. I get your point though. I don't
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was TV 14. So I feel like this is my opinion. I feel like when there's like this very fine line where if they're trying to include both sets of people, they do a rating that's TV 14. Gory enough, adult enough, adults might get enjoyment out of it, but then they can also reach that same younger audience. Because once you push it to that TVMA, then you've kind of alienated that middle school, younger teenage group. And I felt like, in my opinion, they kind of were trying to do that mixture.
right. Yeah.
Was that they were trying to grab that younger audience possibly too. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right, but I also think that that's a mistake that they keep making because they keep like we have to get everybody, we have to get every demographic, including the kids. So they dumb things down, thinking it has to be stupid for kids, and we can't make grown-up things for an adult. Which is why I'm like, I liked all the adult shit as a kid. I'm like, so I feel like things have got dumbed down, and that's what I kind of like. Stop writing for like this youthful audience because it's not going to carry it forever. But who knows? It's a
Yeah, yeah. No, I see what you're saying. The idea that, I mean, why not make it for both? Again, obviously, I don't know. I think that might have been their, like you said, their downfall with it. But my guess is that I feel like they were trying to grab kids more than they were trying to grab, or not kids really, but a more youthful audience than
Yeah.
they were totally adults. That's my guess.
Yeah, to be fair. And again, if I just I'm kind of sick of like it's like goth Harry Potter is what that whole show was. And I'm like, I'm not into Harry Potter either. Like I'm sick of like, oh, we're all going to this
Son of
school
a bitch.
for a semester and we're all gonna gather up and have these I'm like this
What is wrong with Harry Potter? Now you've struck a chord.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I just said it wasn't something that fascinates me. And it doesn't need my validation, clearly.
Well, I don't know if that's true, Rob.
Go
I mean, the way it sounds, you feel like they do need your validation.
on.
Like, hold on a second. What would Robert think about this?
Right.
Yeah, and that's what gets me with the school stuff. That's why I feel like when they decide to do that, it's hard for me to feel like this is a made for an adult.
But didn't adults everywhere all go see those stupid Harry Potter movies? Saying that just to one, push your buttons and someone saying, so he's like, hey, don't be talking shit on Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, that's true. They did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the kind of the magic of that is that they captured everyone's audience or everyone's attention.
They didn't capture yours.
Not me, but I don't dislike it. I'm not shitting on it. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm just like I'm just kind of not interested. I've seen the first like three movies. They're fine.
I know these lines aren't perfect. Um, yeah, don't be taking shots at Potter. Thank you, Keaton.
Someone saying he's going back to Eric Larson's Facebook page and taking back my like and comment. You'd have to have seen this whole thing that was going on.
Also, Mr. D Man using the word cringe is probably the highlight of my evening, though. Um,
Everything's cringe.
I don't feel like they're cringe. What is so bad about them? Is it just because it's my era? Is that why? I don't know. Steele. I said, I know my lines aren't perfect yet. He goes, or she goes, those lines aren't perfect. I don't know if you're what you identify as. Um, yes, that cracks me up. I know. I'm trying to get the idea of how I want them to be shaped. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. Again, one of my things is I love the movies, but I also will say this again. I feel like the books captured for that age group. I again feel like she wrote them for, your middle schoolers, your grade school, I guess your middle schoolers, like age up to high school, like you kind of grew up with them. But they had some really adult themes in them, like some really dark adult stuff in them that isn't even fully portrayed in the movies.
See, that type of stuff as a kid is what attracted me to it. I'm like, I like to hear this, like show me this more adult stuff. Like, I want to know about this world, like these darker themes and stuff. It was so fascinating to me.
Wow. And I don't think that kids aren't like that now 100%, but I think it was Mr. D Man earlier that said kids don't watch TV shows like they used to. They're watching TikTok. They're watching YouTube.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, that's my I don't know why they didn't put it in the movies. What they didn't. I also did see someone comment about they did the reboot of Goosebumps. I don't know if you watched that or not.
Not me, no.
It's the Disney did it, so I thought it wasn't that great. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I'll take it over their stupid Star Wars shows, but definitely wasn't the greatest in my opinion. That's I don't know. But yeah, I think especially having kids the age they are, my older kids now are, 13, 11, even 9. I'm starting to see some of these. Oh, this isn't how, what what should I allow them to watch? What is this for their specific age group? Do I,
Yeah.
what rating should I allow? They've seen a few R-rated movies. They've seen it for. I feel like I just kind of have to go off my instincts on that. But I also notice things that they tend to gravitate towards, and I feel like some of those like TV 14, similar to Wednesday style shows, seem
Yeah.
to be pulling like my 11-year-old and my 13-year-old in.
Yeah.
Stupid Star Wars shows. No. Okay, again, my opinion. Huge Star Wars fan. My, entire life. Um, used to have my whole bedroom done in Star Wars. And I'm just gonna say it. I'm one of those. Liked the prequels just fine. Hate the sequels. Favorites the first trilogy. Liked the first couple of seasons of The Mandalorian. Hate everything else. That's just who I am, and that's just my opinion.
And I am basically exactly the same as you.
Yeah. Yep. People tease me about liking the prequels. To be fair, do I think they're great? No. Do I only like them because I got to see those in the theaters growing up? 100%. So that is why. Goosebumps was my brother's show. I was in my 20s when that came out. Yeah. um, they didn't do it justice. They didn't do the original Goosebumps justice with the new one, I don't think, but I don't know. Were you into Goosebumps, Rob?
No, I don't know when it come out, but my only kind of understanding of it is that I think when I'd heard about it, it felt like that was something for kids younger than me. It was a childish thing.
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna go back to my Transformers. You can have your goosebumps. That's for kids. Believe me, I understand how that sounds. I get it. That's 100% what it was.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm dying right now. Just the way that came across was hilarious. Dr. Wargut said, I dislike the bigotry in the Star Wars hate community so much that it makes me appreciate the shows more. Fair enough. You know, um, again, I just think they're shittily written. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, they're garbage. But
Bigotry, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything except for, they can have, I don't care who the hell is the star, just please write some fucking dialogue. That's my opinion.
I don't
Um,
care who's in it. And just write an interesting story, and they fail, and then there's some
I
people
felt like
like
the first couple Mandalorian films felt like classic Star Wars to me.
seasons of the
Or
TV.
seasons,
Yeah.
sorry, yes,
Oh
seasons.
yeah, I was into them big time.
And then I felt like they got boring, and I felt like there wasn't I couldn't figure out where they were going with it. Um, and I don't know that they knew where they were going with it. That was my opinion. Like
Yeah,
I felt like, are we trying to stretch this out? Like what exactly is happening here? And maybe I need somebody to hold my hand when I'm watching shows, and I need to know, but that was just something I struggled with.
yeah. See, my
But yeah,
struggle with it is that they're so poorly written and things like that. That there are people who hear any criticism of it and go, "You hate people of color, or you hate women." I'm like, no, I
yeah,
hate
that is true. There's
show
a lot of that.
and
Yeah.
the character. I don't care that it's anything of any type. I don't mind. I don't mind Daisy Ridley for anything. Like, she's a good actress. I think she's charismatic and interesting, and I think they wrote a horrible story for her. And now they're like, she's the most valuable asset. I'm like, eh.
Who?
Daisy Ridley, the actress that played Ray in the new movies, the girl.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
she's
that's fair.
fine.
And
Just
again, truthfully, I had super high hopes for those. Super high hopes. I
yeah.
think because I am a woman, I actually was fairly excited at the prospect of there being a woman lead in Star Wars because up until that point, I mean, you had like Leia, you had Padme, but nobody really as a lead, right? It's always Anakin, Luke, you know. So I was stoked again. And looking back at those now, I actually don't hate those as much as some of the shows, actually. I'll take those over some of the shows. But it's true. It's true. Um Yeah, and that's fair. I do think there's a lot of people who just cry about them because they want to. You know, that has something to do with it. The Mandalorian, he's a guy. I don't like him anymore. Like I just it has nothing to do with any of it. It's just I just don't think they do a very good job.
And see, I was thinking about this. I think part of the problem is complete and total oversaturation. Like Star Wars
Yes,
came
thank you.
out in 1977, the year I was born, and all the concepts were familiar, but they took and amped it up to this crazy degree that made it feel fresh and new. And then you had to wait 3 years for the next one,
Exactly.
and then 3 more years. So what fans do is like it becomes like you get the toys and you start playing, and you kind of like as kids you like start making your own adventures, and maybe you pick up the comic books, and so you live with them in your head and start kind of thinking about it, and you're talking about what would this character do, what was that, but it was limited. And so when another one come out, it was special. And now Disney gets it, and they're like, you will have Star Wars content 24 hours a day. And guess what? It's dead.
That's how I feel. Okay, and I've said this in the past. 100% agree with you on that. If there is anything that I think that makes it, and I think that's the reason why all the stories they blend together. Why I don't feel the dialogue feels different. I don't feel like the characters feel different. I don't feel that stories feel different. They don't take any time developing a real story. They just are throwing it at you, hoping something sticks. And I'm sure that's money related. And at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of money. I'm not gonna give you a bunch of money. Um, I'm not gonna be buying my kids toys and stuff for a show that I don't even like, you know? Like give me some stuff, give me some excitement, a lead up. I want to see a movie in theaters I'm stoked about. Been the anticipation's been rising. It's not like that
Yeah. It's
at
just
all.
that here's new content, here's new product, move on, watch next product. It
Yep.
used to be next. Like I watched this documentary on John Williams, the composer, on
Yeah.
Disney, just talking about how he come up and how he started and how he got connected with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, and they're just playing all these bits of music, and I'm like, this music is so beautiful and touching and magical. And so I think of Star Wars and how like magical that whole universe used to be, and I'm like, have to just pretend that all the new shit doesn't exist, and then I can like, oh yeah, I used to love this stuff so much. And so it's just there's too much of it. Just they need to let it die, let it go away for a couple of years, like you were saying. Let us build up the
Yeah.
anticipation,
Give me some time. Yeah.
and then hire on their writers. Let's jump back into that universe.
And see, I think that would cure their situation. And I think maybe they figured that out a little bit because I haven't seen much Star Wars related. Maybe I've just stopped caring. I don't know. But again, as someone who I'm not just even saying this from a place of oh I want to love anything Star Wars. It was no joke one of the things that saved me as a child from pivoting, just spiraling into self depression. It was a major big deal to me. And I want everything to be so good. I want to have that same emotional attachment to it. I want to feel that about it. But when I feel like everything's just as quick as we can get it, let's throw it out there in your face and hope you like it so that you will, spend your money on it, and let's not try to create something awesome. That's my problem. And maybe they are trying. Maybe it's just not appealing to me. But there is a huge amount of people that I talk to, and a mass majority of them that I feel the same way.
And
Unless I'm saying it.
honestly, they can't deny cratering viewership, and that's all that matters. Disney only wants money. When they put out The Acolyte, and just because some people love it, but guess what? If it was a success, they would have gone for another season. But no one watched it. It tanked hard. That's all anybody should hear about that, how it's connecting or not. And
Yeah.
so it didn't work. And so that's
Go
just
back to
a
the drawing board.
yeah.
And that was my thing. I had someone actually mentioned, and you and I disagree on this, but someone mentioned Rogue One earlier. It was Inkwell. Said the only new Star Wars movie that was any good was Rogue One. I actually did enjoy Rogue One. Which I know you and I've talked about this, and you did not. But for whatever reason, I liked it. It appealed to me. I went to theater. I saw it. Now my husband fell asleep. He did not enjoy it at all. He said that's one of the most boring things I've ever seen. But I liked it. So I mean, there is some stuff that comes out that I'm like, okay, for whatever reason, I liked that. That one had a female lead. Like, I liked it. I just, it's not really about that to me. I do think it's about the fact I feel like there's no new stories being made. It's not, they were just getting thrown the same exact thing. Like the book of, I believe, if I'm, maybe I don't know how many seasons. The Book of Fett. I don't know how many seasons that one had.
The
It
Book of
just,
Boba Fett.
what'd you say?
The Book of Boba Fett. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, wasn't it called the Book of Fett or something? Was it called the Book of Boba
Book
Fett?
of
I don't
Boba-
remember.
It went one season and it sucked.
Um, yeah,
In fact, that's what killed my interest in The Mandalorian.
yeah, because interesting enough, the only time it was interesting was actually when they threw some
Yep.
of the Mandalorian stuff in there.
Yep.
But it felt like they were trying the Mandalorian just a different person. Like it was like, oh, let's give you this a similar story, but let's just make one show and get it right, and then we'll move on to the next.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, okay, you and Jess, I'll just have to write and draw a Star Battle book for you. 100%. Let's do it. I would love to see it. Speaking of Gayton, he did that art of your art, right?
Yeah, where you over enhanced that one drawing. That's like one of
Gayton.
the greatest
That was
things.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so awesome. I saw that, and I haven't been in the Discord too much. I maybe this winter I'll get back into art a little bit more, and then I'll sit in there. But I I popped in for that one because I saw it come up that it was you, and I popped in there, and I thought, whoa, just no offense to Rob, but that looked so good, and then you colored it, and it just, wow, it was great. It was great. The
No
first the
offense to Rob, but definitely offense to Rob.
again, I'm not that I'm saying that it was better than yours, but it definitely was eye catching.
Even I'm kind of like, son of a bitch.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And then see it colored and everything. I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty because it captured like he was going for the funny, and I'm like, yep, nailed it.
Mhm. Yeah, that was yeah, it was great. Again, the original was great too, but the colors were great, her expression, like, she couldn't even believe it. I
Right.
loved it. I loved it. Like, she's like, "What the?"
Kitty's grew thousands percent. She's like, what?
Yeah. Where'd these come from? It's like, when I have a baby and my milk comes in for the first time. Porn star breasts is what my husband calls them.
What a
Porn
lucky
star boob
fella.
boobs. And I'm just like, "What?" That's how I felt. Like, "Wow. Where'd these come from?"
Like,
Uh,
shit, are these gonna stick?
Raw from Stargate. I haven't seen that movie. We were just talking about that earlier, actually, but maybe I'll look it up and sit down and draw it. And I kind of want to watch it.
It was a great design. Yeah, that was it's a really good movie.
I'll have so many shows and movies I need to watch, and then I just think I'll do that tonight when my kids go to sleep, and then I just go to sleep too. Um, the Stargate TV show sucked. Okay, we were talking about this earlier. My parents used to watch it, and that was like their show. The kids couldn't watch with them because I was a teenager when it came out, I think, or even younger, maybe.
You say you could not watch it with them?
No, it was their special show they watched together
Why wouldn't they let you watch it?
because that's how my parents were.
Oh,
We had to go watch my younger sibling. My youngest brother, he was pretty tiny, and so that was their like, show they got to watch in the evenings or on whatever night it came out. And I don't know if I have a bad taste in my mouth for it because of that, but I have. It's funny that people keep saying it's not very good. Like Rob just said it, and that was my dad loved it. Um, they looked too low budget. I'm trying to like read. I think Stargate was ruined once they made multiple TV spinoffs. Yeah.
no. I mean, Stargate, that movie, was just some soldiers who travel through this dimensional gate that they found, and then they end up on another planet, and there's a bunch of Egyptian stuff going on, and they got to fight these creatures and blah blah blah. Then I'm like, the Stargate TV show, suddenly they're in spaceships fighting like Star Wars. I'm like, what the fuck happened? They really took this whole concept a whole other direction. And I'm like, I don't want to start a whole nother show. So I didn't give a shit. I didn't want to
That's fair.
but it went forever.
Mr. Demon said he doesn't have a computer worth a damn or something like that. I read it earlier a second ago. Dude, I don't have a computer worth a damn to join the Discord. I don't know if you want to or not. I just use my phone. There's a Discord app for it. Mr. D Man, if
Yeah.
you're interested. That's how I do it because I mean I have a computer, but I'm not gonna sit down and do it that way if I'm not gaming or something. So I just use my phone. um, but should I have taken a pencil and tried to figure out my lines first? Probably. Am I just gonna sit and work this for a while? Also, yes.
Work it into oblivion.
Mm-hmm. Gaten said, so strong female characters that aren't annoying. Carter and Stargate show. Are any strong female characters annoying?
Well, there's some of those strong female characters that are so pretentiously. It's like Like a person's not a strong character because they act like an asshole towards everyone around them.
Yeah,
Character's
yeah.
strong because I'm not telling you, you know what I mean. But when
I know, I'm just
a
teasing.
well-written character with strengths and weaknesses,
Hmm.
if they're
That's true.
automatically good at everything, oh, they're a strong character because they're strong.
That's fair. I'm just teasing more than anything.
No,
Just trying to start shit, because why not? But no, I get what you're saying.
you start shit. Let's see. So
I know, never. Well, I never. Hmm. Speaking of movies, you're gonna watch any Christmas movies?
like a specific, like it's the season. Let's watch Christmas movies. That being said, I will watch Scrooged.
Will you watch Die Hard? Ooh, let's get some takes from the people in the chat here. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Fuck yes, it is.
100% agreed. However, I have heard good arguments otherwise. Like, just because a movie happens to happen around Christmas does not make it a Christmas movie.
Say 100%. Yes, it does.
Um, Uncle says yes. Mr. D-Man says yes. Where's Chuck at?
Gremlins is a Christmas movie. Yeah, it's a Christmas horror movie.
Which are the best kind.
Oh,
Nothing good old Christmas horror.
Christmas horror?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Little Shop of
Like the
Horrors?
story. You always have the Little Shop of Horrors story. So when my sister-in-law brought her now, I don't know. I guess they're like engaged. I don't know. Maybe they're not really engaged. They're just anyway. He's been her boyfriend, live-in boyfriend for 4 years. They're practically married. Um, and so when she first brought him over to meet my husband and myself, we were asking him what kind of movies he liked. And he said really fast, and I don't remember if it was because he just had some nerves or what. He said action horror, but it sounded like action horrors.
Nice.
And my husband said, "Oh, you know what? I like those too, but we're not going to watch any of those tonight." Kind of joking around, right? So now we still tease him to this day about the action horrors.
Hell
So,
yeah. You have to at that point.
yeah, he's like, I know.
I love the Little Shop of Horrors story, and I will tell it every chance I get because how can I not?
That's true. You know what? I don't even fault you for it. If I had a good story like that about you, I would tell it, but I don't. Krampus is badass. I have seen Krampus and it was pretty good. Yeah. Die Hard 2 also takes place around Christmas. I don't remember Die Hard 2. I know I saw it. I watched them all.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't care for Die Hard 2. I've seen it once and I was like, all right, that's done. 3, I love, and then they're just progressively worse from there. So it's 1 and 3 and I'm done.
yeah, I couldn't even tell you what any of the other ones, what the storyline is, nothing. Just because I watched them all one time. Well, not Die Hard. Sorry, not the original Die Hard, but the others like one time, and then I just never watched them again.
Yeah, 3 is really good, but it's just they get too like the whole thing that made the first Die Hard great is that John McClane was a relatable guy who suffered pain. And then later on, he's like jumping across jets as they explode around him. It's like this lost all the humanity, you know. It's just
Right.
boring generic action bullshit, and I don't care. So
Yeah. I don't, again, I don't remember it that well, but I kind of remember thinking like something similar along those lines, but you know. Uh, Red One is a ripoff, a fake movie is a rip off of a fake movie from Scrooged. Oh, did not know that. Red One, is that new one coming out?
heard of that, but I don't know.
I think it's the I've kind of I've my kids have talked about it a little bit about wanting to maybe go see it.
Feel traditional artist saying Lethal Weapon or Die Hard.
Oh gosh, I haven't seen Lethal Weapon in forever either. I
I
probably
I would give it to Lethal Weapon because I enjoy those first three movies and most of the fourth a lot. And again, Die Hard is like one and three, and that's it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's where I'm at with those.
I remember liking them. I just don't remember them very well. Again, it's not one that I've watched a ton of. I think I watched them all maybe one time. So I can't say for sure. I've definitely seen Die Hard, the first Hard more. So I feel like I can't give a good answer there. Maybe I should do some more of my movie marathons. I went through a phase where I was
See, what I
doing
like
that.
about Lethal Weapon as well is it's kind of the similar-ish thing that made Die Hard interesting in that, again, John McClane in Die Hard was like a normal guy, and he got hurt and he was in pain. He wasn't like Schwarzenegger or Stallone, where they're like impossible to hurt kind of guys. He was wounded and in pain. What I
Yeah.
liked about Lethal Weapon the first time I ever watched it, because I'd seen bits and pieces of it, I didn't really pay attention to it. But once I finally sat down and watched it, like all credit to Mel Gibson. Um, he's suicidal and he's sitting on a couch crying about his wife who's dead, and he's putting a gun in his mouth, thinking about killing himself.
Mhm.
Stops and he puts it aside, and he's like, "Not today, not today." Like I'm like, "Holy shit!" This like this poor fucker is suffering. Like he seems like the kind of the crazy lunatic action hero, but then you see he's just so sad inside. And Mel Gibson portrayed it so well. I'm like, oh my God, you got me, you know? And then you
Yeah.
understand why he's suffering, why he's so reckless. He's like, if he gets shot, he doesn't care. He's like, kill me. But he's not going to go without a fight. So and then his heart is healed by the end of the show, and he's kind of past it. And you're like, ah, pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. See? Now I want to go watch them.
I actually see these things.
Maybe I'll do a. I used to do these movie marathons where I'd watch movies either A, I hadn't seen in a really long time, or I'd never seen, and I would pick a um, actor or actress, and I just watch all their movies. And I just quit doing it. And now I feel like I want to do that again because then I end up watching movies I've never seen before, but I have to watch them as part of my own. I promised myself I was gonna watch every movie they ever made.
Ugh. I don't think you could talk me into You will watch every movie a person's made, even if I know it's universally regarded as god awful. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time to waste on shit I'm sure I'll dislike.
You just watch in the background. I did my Sylvester Stallone one, and I watched close to every movie he's ever made. That was difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. My little brother, he's a big Stallone fan. And, we know he's cheesy and he's a terrible actor sometimes. Sometimes he's good and stuff. But, it's just funny. Fun thing for us. And we grew up loving Rocky. Just loving Rocky.
Yeah.
And so that's where that came from. He said, "Have you watched this one? Have you watched this one?" I said, "No, well, I'm going to sit down and watch it, even if it's terrible, just for the fun of it." I could have been watching Deadpool during those times, but I wasn't.
Yeah, Steel Traditional Heart says Riggs was scared shitless when Jet Li's brother died and he got pissed. Yeah, that's what made that movie. That was part four. Yeah, I think. Um, because I don't know if you haven't seen that one, right, Jess? The Lethal Weapon.
I've seen them all, but it's probably been close to 15 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's the one where they had Jet Li. You know who he is,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was the villain, and that guy, I like how they portrayed it. Like Riggs can take on anybody, but he cannot fight that guy. Like he's just too good. And then they had to fight him, and um, they barely beat him. But it was like this guy's gonna fucking rip our throats out. You know what I mean? And it's like I remember watching, going, "Oh God, I don't know how this is gonna go." But I was satisfied with it.
See, that's cool. I like when a movie does that to you when you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just, on the edge of your seat. Um, Side note, we started a new show I randomly picked from Apple. I don't know if you ever watched that. I don't know if it's only on Apple, but Dark Matter. Have you watched that?
No,
We just started it yesterday, and I just randomly, and I was like, wow, it's actually so far 2 episodes in, really good, really good, really surprised. It's about a guy who gets.
excuse me.
Oh, sorry, what?
I just coughed. Sorry.
Oh, it's about a guy who gets mugged on his way home one night. He's a professor of, I think, physics, and he gets mugged, brought to this warehouse, and he doesn't see the guy. He's drugged by him. The guy's wearing a mask, and he keeps asking, "Who are you?" And he won't tell him. And then he wakes up in an alternate reality. And he doesn't. I mean, that's what it is, but he doesn't really know it at first. Where
Right.
his wife, he goes back to his house. He's got a different person that he's with, and it's actually really, really well done.
Oh, wow. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, his son is gone. His son doesn't exist in this world, and you find out, oh, the person he had told his son's wife, or this mom, the woman who's his wife in his real reality, oh, when it happened, I couldn't do it, and so she ended up, not going through the pregnancy, and then there's all these. It's like if you made a different choice at that moment, it branched out. Him not being with her, deciding not to be with her, going and doing his career, not being with her, having that kid. It's like it branched out. And it's so interesting, just the idea.
Sure. It sounds interesting. D-Man asked, have I seen Fat Man with Mel Gibson? No, I don't even know what that is. And someone saying, if Rob doesn't watch Stranger Things, the world will end.
You know what? That is such a good show. I rewatched it with my kids the other day. Well, I mean, not just, it was over the course of a month. I didn't just sit and binge it all day. Um, and I just forget how many cool things and details and fun. Again, here's where I'm talking about kind of going back with the Star Wars shows. It's not a perfect show. It has cheesy moments. I'm sure there are plot holes. I mean, it's sci-fi horror type thing, but you are invested in the characters, and the characters have personalities and they have flaws, and they are all these different facets to the characters that the people who wrote them, you can tell, took the time out to really give that character their own personality, their own, they're different than the next character. And I appreciate that more the more and more I watch shows that I feel like they don't do anything like that with them. And I
Sure.
would say that's my opinion on a lot of these Star Wars ones. They all feel like the same character over and over again. The same stories.
Yeah, I have heard nothing but good things, and maybe one of these days I'll try it. I can't seem to work myself up enough to be like, I need to start Stranger Things. One of these days, there's Chuck, and he says Mel Gibson is one of the most underappreciated actors of our generation. I agree. I think he's really great. He kind of dug himself a hole with some of the shit he would say back in the day because he was considered one of the greatest actors. Then he kind of started saying some weird shit, but I I think he's a great actor.
Haven't we all though said some weird shit? I'm just kidding.
For real.
The movie I like by Mel Gibson that um and now I'm not gonna be able to remember it. Forever Young. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. Not that one.
Um,
Whitney loves it. She just heard you say that.
yes, thank you. A lot of people don't know it. But I loved it as a kid. It was one of my favorites. Sunday afternoon, we would pick movies, and most times I would pick that one.
All right. Yeah.
Mel doesn't handle liquor well.
Yeah, there you go.
um,
But I mean, I legitimately like with Mel Gibson, like Braveheart. I'm on board. I loved that movie from the instant I saw it, and then like even The Patriot, even though it's so historically like wrong,
oh yeah.
I think he's so good in that movie. Like he's
Mhm.
like I want to see him do another big badass awesome movie and come back and do some cool shit.
Yeah, that would be cool. Again, you know, well written movies, even like you said, even though it's historically wrong, well written, acting great, all of it, just just the right formula.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you've seen The Patriot, I'm sure, right?
Yes, I've seen The Patriot.
But when
Patriot.
his first son gets shot, then I remember watching it and my dad watching it with me. He was kind of talking about, because I was a grown adult when that movie came out, but my dad was talking about like just think about that, like you're a grown man, you have to take your sons because one of them just got shot, one of them just got taken prisoner, so you're taking your boys who are like our kids' age. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like we have to go shoot other enemy soldiers, British soldiers, to save your brother. And then his dad, Mel Gibson's like hacking him to pieces. And,
Oh, yeah.
and then now that I'm older and have kids, I'm thinking about like, what would you do to go save your family member and what kind of lengths would you go to? Uh,
That's a good point. I think, first time I saw it, I didn't have kids. Um, and it didn't hit me, but that's a good point. And you know what? That's the thing is it makes you think about that kind of stuff.
Whitney just chimed in and says, Rob is lame and doesn't like chick flicks, so he wouldn't watch Forever Young.
It kind of is. It kind of isn't, but it kind of is. Real quick overview of it, and we can go back to that. Whitney, I love you, Whitney. Oh my gosh, she goes, thanks, Jess. I didn't watch it. He's a pilot, a World War II pilot, and he has a fiance, and his buddy, and I'm not going to remember exactly what his role was, but he works on scientifically related things for the military. And anyway, his fiance gets hit by a car and she's in a coma, and it sounds like she's going to be, they don't know if she's ever going to wake up from it. And there's this experiment they're doing, putting people, or they want volunteers for putting them under in these kind of like pods and freezing them, putting them to sleep and then they wake them up, and to see if they can actually do that. And he decides to volunteer for his buddies this thing because he's so upset. He's so sad because he thinks this woman that he loves so much is not going to come out of it. But if she does, then they can wake him up for it. So either he'll sleep forever or whatever. Anyway, and then he does end up getting woken up, and it is no longer the 40s. And I'll just tell you that. Anyway, it's got Elijah Wood in it too as a kid. Adorable. It's really good. You might actually like it.
I Whitney's full of shit. There are movies I like plenty.
Whitney's full of shit.
Um,
Yeah, it's a good one. Oh my gosh. Chuck says, I was married to an inspiring actress and have hung around with a lot of them. The good ones are always mental. Mental?
Instead, like, sane people don't go to crazy places, and so that's why some of the best art you find is by fucked up people, because they tap into weird shit that well-adjusted people wouldn't.
I should be an amazing artist if that's
You
the
should
case.
be like the best artist.
I should. Because I just, yeah, fucking weird. That says a lot about your art, though, because I would say you're one of the best artists I've ever personally known. So what does that say about you?
That I suck for real, and you have poor taste.
uh, let's see here. A Mr. Demon I know is completely bullshit. I'm black, and I like both guys to this day, and have seen or heard 10 times worse living and stuff. I don't know. I feel like I missed a conversation here. I think I missed a conversation here. Chuck, it's called method acting. Yeah. That's kind of cool though, Chuck, that you were married to an aspiring actress.
He said he was. Maybe it wasn't so good.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, still cool experience. I'm gonna still say it.
I was married to the exact opposite of a creative person, and that was a terrible experience. So what the fuck do I know?
Damn. Rob went there. We're at that point in the conversation. Totally went there. Jess, you're talking Hulk Hogan and Mel Gibson. All right. Try to look for my my oh, I can't even talk anymore.
Brain no work.
Huh?
Your brain's not working.
It stopped working.
Stopped working.
No, that's the time of day that I stopped working.
It did work.
Yeah, it's like we are done. Try to get some of these lines a little evened out. You know what you should do, Rob?
Tell me.
You should watch Stranger Things with your kids.
So
Yeah, because then it's something you could do with them. They might like it.
I would, if I knew for a fact that they would love it, I would 100% do that. But this is not a cop out. But just knowing them the way I do, I kind of doubt that they would. I'm trying to introduce them to shit to get them interested in different kinds of more advanced adult storytelling than dumbass kid crap. But like my intention this weekend is like I'm gonna try and get my at least my oldest boy to watch ET with me.
Oh, I love ET. I just watched that not that long ago.
Yeah. I'm like, I think he would because my boy loves science stuff,
Uh-huh.
space stuff. And
Uh-huh.
he's 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 got a really good emotional kind of understanding. And I'm like, oh, I think you get into this. Like he'll start out scary and intense. He'll be
Mhm.
afraid of this alien, then he'll fall in love with it. Then it's gonna die on screen and have a little flower wilt in front of the girl, and they're all gonna scream and cry. Then his heart's gonna start pumping again, and we're gonna ride away on bikes to get him up into the forest to get him back to his spaceship.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good movie.
Yeah, I hope it. I'm
I
trying to decide if I should tell him like what we're gonna watch. I'm like, just I got a movie. I think you're gonna love it. Sit down. Let's just give it a shot, my son. And he'll do it, even if he's like inside, he's dying. He's like, "Ah, watch this fucking movie again. Something. He made me watch Interstellar, and he was a blubbering mess.
Oh, I love Interstellar. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
Then I told you how my youngest suddenly had a big interest in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And we got through the first one. He's immediately like, "Can we watch the next one?" I'm like, "You bet your ass, boy. Turn it on right there."
That's great. Love myself some Johnny Depp. Don't come at me in the comments.
It's old school Johnny Depp.
Don't come at me.
It's Edward Scissorhands.
I love Edward Scissorhands. I love it. One of my favorite movies.
Where how she's like, "Hold me," and he's like, "I can't.
I know. Oh, no, I'm gonna cry.
We're gonna cry, and then I'm gonna cry, and we're all gonna cry."
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so terrible. I'm going to make Rob watch Stranger Things whether he likes it or not. That I love to see it. Gaten.
I was gonna make me.
E.T. is terrible, but the Goonies are the goat. The Goonies, that's a good movie
Yeah.
too. But E.T. being terrible, I gotta disagree with you, Steele. Inkwell, LOL, hilarious for real. Um, Star Kid with your boys. That's a fun movie.
Which one? What? Star Kid? Star Kid?
Yeah, Tyrus was saying.
I don't even know what that is.
Or is it Star Kid or Stat Kid? I'm not sure. That reminds me of another one I haven't watched in probably since I was a kid. The Last Starfighter.
I love that movie.
That's a good one. Have you watched that one with
Um, I don't. I'm trying to remember. I think he'd struggle because it takes a while to get into the shit he'd be interested in. Like it
them? Yeah.
doesn't get into the space stuff for a while. It's just some kid living a mundane, boring life in a trailer park in Arizona or whatever the hell it was. And I'm sure my kid would be like, "What the fuck are we watching? This is so
I
cool."
vaguely have this memory of me trying to get my kids to watch it and having them not interested. But I can't remember if that really happened or not. I'm too old. The Last Starfighter is better than E.T. Different.
I love it.
Well,
That and Flight of the Navigator. That's another one I want to watch with my boy.
oh, I watched that one not that long ago with my kids. Uh, Yeah, that's a
Watch
classic.
it with them.
What?
I think I did watch it with my kids, but it wasn't one of these where I forced them to sit and watch it. So I think he might have got up and left it. Because I was kind of hoping I'd turn it on and he'd just be interested. As
Yeah.
because sometimes I'm like, here, I want you to watch this with me. So he understands it's time to put his phone down and sit down next to daddy. We're gonna watch a thing. But other times you just turn stuff on and try to just see if they suddenly look and watch and get interested, which happens on occasion.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like you want them to be so like you don't have to force the issue. There's two different kinds of artists, Chuck says. The ones that have to draw to purge their inner emotions, and the artist that's looking to art to enhance and expand who they are. The artists that need to purge their emotions in their art tend to be better artists.
That makes sense. I'd agree.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too.
I mean, a person who's suffered has something to say.
I feel like I'm a better artist when I'm going through shit. Not
Like,
that,
really.
not like, oh, I've gone through shit. Like I'm going through it in this very moment.
So if you get really prolific suddenly, I should be like, baby, you all right?
Probably.
Check in on me, please.
Something, if you're like, wow, Jessica actually is doing a good job. I post something, you're like, wow, this is new. She's nailed hands or something. Hold on.
Wait a minute. What's going on? Yeah. Part artists who suffered. I mean, just having like gone through my divorce and stuff like that, I feel like it's kind of given me a different perspective and lets me look at things in a different way. And I'm it's like a microscopic kind of example, but if you just a person's lived a life of privilege and never had to really go through anything hard, which I mean, everyone go through something. Everyone
Yeah.
does. Yeah, people who suffer make things interesting. Yeah, Tyrants, hell yeah, Flight of the Navigator was great, right?
Yeah. It's a good one.
Like I've sat around and actually come up with like fake scenarios where some movie studio gives me like, hey, we want you to be the showrunner for a sequel or to a movie or something. What do you want to do? I'm like, I have ideas for The Last Starfighter and Flight of the Navigator. Let's talk.
Dude, Fly the Navigator is just such a great movie. I love it. Gabe says, I draw because I'm bored with everything else. So I guess that explains a lot. Well, your stuff's really good. I am realizing what time it is. I actually probably need to jump off here. Um,
You got somewhere better to be? Yes, I know. The answer is yes.
yeah, I do. I don't know if I'd say better, but
Yeah, I do.
has to be, you know,
Yeah. Get you.
have to do it, you know. Um, but anywhere, it's it was fun. It's a good conversation.
Yeah. About the same time as we always hit, so okay.
Yeah, yeah. But thanks for chatting with me, everybody. Hey, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, basically got it all inked.
Wow. Is she wearing a thong?
Yeah, of course. She's her name's Dollface. Putting her in the most ridiculous, skanky little outfit ever. Has to be ridiculous. So
I guess that makes sense.
it's
I
you know
guess it makes sense.
parody of '90s comics. So she's wearing like, can you imagine? Who could imagine wearing a tiny little string thong bikini and then like fighting monsters and kicking and moving and like it would be like a freaking porno comic and everyone's getting a 9-4.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, you know what? It depends. It depends on what it's made out of. Some
I
of those
would
don't move that much.
I wouldn't know.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right. Well, thanks all. It was fun. Thanks, Rob. I'll probably talk to you later, but then I'm sure we'll do this again next week.
Yeah, yeah, I'll stay on here just a little bit longer, but yeah,
All right.
we should do it again.
Sounds good. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, Chuck, I agree with you. Yeah, life felt he needed money to help his dad, and he was motivated. He said that a lot, and I believe him. He was motivated because sick family member, dad that he loved, and he suddenly started hitting it big. So, you know, that was motivation, whether we like his art or not. I kind of respected him for that. Yeah, I can't stay too much longer. I got to record a video for tomorrow. I don't have anything queued up, and I think I'm going to do, and it's going to be a long one. I got this guy right here. Bam. Got to review the Eric Larson Vault Edition. I can't even open the pages with the hitting the camera. Look at that face. And some badass stuff right there. Gaten, why don't I announce my solo streams? I don't know. I guess I just figure no one gives a shit enough. Um, I guess. And I don't really plan them. I'm just like, I'll just go sit down and draw, and I turn the camera on. I guess I could. It never occurs to me. Maybe I'm hurting myself by not. You know what's crazy? Um, these scans, like it's so good. It's like I see these pages sitting on like the where the yellowing of the old paper, meets the white of the paper it's printed on. And I'm like, I swear to God, for half a second, I feel like there's just a piece of artboard sitting on here and I could touch it and move it. It's such a good scan. All the little stains on it and ink splatters and scratchy lines going over everything. I'm actually surprised at how much Zipatone stuff Larson uses in this, at least this first run. I keep noticing it. It's all over the place that I didn't notice before in the colored. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do this book, but whether I do it tonight or save it for tomorrow night or something like that, I might find something quicker to do just to bust one out. I'm going to bust one out on camera and you're all going to watch. There's even pages in this that I've never seen before. I was really surprised. I'm like, oh, where was that one? That wasn't in the original. Yeah, there's some really neat stuff in this. Larson will draw the biggest tits on characters and not give a fuck. He's like, you all look at all those other artists, look at mine. Every girl is like Triple H. I'm actually kind of curious. This inking stuff on the top up here, it looks like sponge, if I had to guess. It doesn't quite look like ink splatter, like being flicked off a toothbrush. Looks like a dabbing like a sponge on the page. I really like it. Makes me want to kind of experiment with that. Great double page spread here of Dragon beating the shit out of Badrock. One of my favorite things to happen. Like I said, I'm picking up. They're doing a Liefeld version of this, I think, next year. 100% picking that up. Thanks, D-Man. We get it. You've said it like 7 times. It's a great face shot. You even did a focus on that panel. I like this shot right there. I think that looks really neat. Oh yeah, that page of him sitting in the dark, someone saying where he was brooding with the I assume we're talking about that one. Or that one or that one. This is a drawing I've never seen, but it looks like Bisley cranked that over there. Like Eric Larson leaning into like a Bisley kind of vibe. Ink splatter everywhere, and then just weird painterly chunky shapes in the bottom. That's some crazy stuff. I've never seen that anywhere. I don't even know what that's from. Maybe it's just some random thing he did just cuz. I was about to wrap up here, Chuck. We're just doing a quick flip through of the Dragon book. Ugh. Jeffrey, what's up? I like this kind of like his logo, kind of like just the fin thing. That's kind of fun. But yeah, this thing is I flipped through it once when I got it yesterday or the day before, and I was like, oh, love it. Just seeing all the imperfections on the original artwork, all the whiteout that you can see, places where he covered up, like messed up lines. Oh, is it limited to 2,000 copies? I didn't know that, Chuck. I remember you saying something about it might be a limited run, but only 2,000 copies. I mean, wow. They're releasing a Spawn Capullo one? Oh shit, I didn't know that. God damn it. You can just tell that's going to be more money out of my pocket, probably. Yeah, somehow I missed the uh, Spawn Capullo one. I'm going to go do some Googling. Yeah, good stuff. So it's the whole entire Dragon original miniseries. All of it's in here. The page arrangements are redone, so it's not the same as the original release. They're rearranged in order. I think it makes more sense this this way. Always love that shot of that face. That's one of my favorite drawings. So much emotion in that face right there. The eyes and the mouth expression, like he's sad. I always thought that was a great shot. Have I talked you out of needing to pick up this one, Chuck? I'm sure the essentials close enough. I was actually thinking the same thing. Um, like, can I just get the essential book in the black and white and get the same kind of, you know, experience? Oh well, doesn't matter now. I've got it. So, so I'll put this guy aside. I don't know if I have the energy to do a video on this one tonight. I'm sure it'll take an hour at least. It's something else quicker to do. Good point, Chuck. What would Capullo's style have been like had he not gotten involved with Spawn? Because that's, I mean, I love Capullo's work, but his Spawn work is not anything I really care to revisit in terms of reading the comics, because it went into that area for me that I don't like McFarlane was doing, where it's like this dead serious horror, but drawn with a cartoony goofball style. And it doesn't work for me. And I don't know if I'm just crazy. But oh, Steel, I'm doing all of X Force. I'm doing it all. I'm just doing it in order, and we are at the Capullo stuff. We're at the in the Executioner's song. So yeah, I'm doing all of the great Capullo X Force stuff. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Capullo style on Spawn, but it's just because the Spawn aesthetic doesn't interest me. But like Chuck's saying, I it's interesting to think of what it could have been, because he changed his style. It seems to me when the guy who drew X Force and the guy who drew Spawn are almost not the same guy. It seems like it's hard to kind of see the artistic DNA connecting them. It's really weird. And then I see his stuff that Capullo posts, all these penciled pages for that Wolverine book he's doing. It's some of the greatest art I've ever seen. I'm like, God damn, does that look good? Well, I might wrap this up. I think I'm gonna be doing dinner here in just a second, and got to record a video for tomorrow. But I got to ink the thing I wanted to ink: the red coyote and doll face. Look, I didn't draw the giant dong. I left it out. Maybe I'll add it in there later. It should be a character of a name of a character. Giant dong. Like, oh, yes, three top knots. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down for now, though. Thanks, everybody. It was fun, as always. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.